I am resident of Hollywood for YouTube, Jules Sains. That is my buddy Patrick McCray. That is my buddy Alan Gallant. That is my buddy Daniel Culver. We are here to review the James Bond movie Goldfinger, directed by Guy Hamilton, screenplay by Richard Maibaum, based and Paul Den,
Who? Paul
Dehn.
Dane.
Okay. Once
There's
again,
Melancholy.
based on Goldfinger by Ian Fleming. Again, still produced by Harry Saltzman and Albert R. Broccoli. We got Sean Connery is here. Honor Blackman is here. Probe is here. Shirley Eaton is here. Tanya Malik. Sorry.
Terrence Malick, director Terrence Malick.
Harold Sagata is here.
Yeah, odd job. Professor
job.
Harold Sakata.
Cinematographer is Ted Moore. John Barry returns to do the music. So this was released way back when, September 17th, 1964, London premiere. September 18th, 1964, United Kingdom. September 1964, December 22nd, United States. Budget $3 million. Box office $125 million.
Yeah, it's the biggest. I mean, it was the first one to crack 100.
Yes, it's a lot of money.
Ushering in a new era of blockbusters.
Yes. This follows from Russia with Love. Guys, when did you first see Goldfinger? Patrick.
Oh gosh, middle school, sometime on this, ABC movie.
Cool.
There's not much of it. I mean, it's a movie I fell in love with much later. I kind of knew about it and sort of saw it, and it was okay. But it was really when I was in graduate school that I went back and watched it again. And it's when GoldenEye came out, and they came out all these James Bond movies on VHS, was sort of remastered, and it just set me on fire. And I thought it was maybe one of the greatest films ever made. It was just relentlessly stylish and well put together and confident, so confident and insouciant. What a movie! Jesus Christ! I got a Casablanca comparison I'll make later.
This movie has a supportable ego, and it's large.
Yes. Alan, when did you first see this?
I probably first saw it when I was 9 or 10 at black and white. So it didn't really give me a terrific impression. But I saw it again when I was probably 14 or 15 in color. And then I was impressed. Just completely different.
Well, you have to see this in color. Mm-hmm. I mean, the biggest shock in the movie, at the beginning of the movie, makes no sense unless it's in color.
Yeah.
Wait, so was this in black and white originally?
No, but it was
I just saw it on a black and white television set.
Okay, yeah.
My parents had black and white TV until I was 13.
That's sort of mine. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I understand. Well, yeah, for those who might not be aware, that was actually common back in the day.
Yes, it was. Yeah. It was very common back in the day. Unless you had like $1,200 to buy a color television console.
They were outrageously expensive.
Yes.
Even by today's standards. It was nutty.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. Now you can buy a friggin' 52-inch television set for less than $400. And that's today's money.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a Walmart. They're selling 52-inch 4K for, I think, just $200. So
I wouldn't be surprised at all. Yeah. I have a 32-inch that only cost me $125.
Yeah. Daniel, when did you first see this, dude?
Honestly, as far as I know, just today,
There you go. What did you think of the movie?
I thought it was, I would say it's okay. It's not like I would still, what, I'd say it's good, because it was pretty cool, like with Odd Job, how he has that hat,
Yeah.
Yes.
By the way, Jewel, there's a professional wrestler that fought. His whole shtick was inspired by Odd Job. His name was Professor Teru Tanaka, and he wore the derby and the suit and the whole 9 yards. In the 60s, 70s, in that period of time.
And he wrestled in Tokyo, didn't he?
He wrestled, yeah, and he wrestled in the WWF
Yeah.
back
Oh
back
yeah.
in the day. Yeah.
Yeah, that shows how long ago it was. Because
Yeah.
for those that don't know, yeah, it used to be three Ws.
Yep, back in the 70s and early 80s before the World Wildlife Federation told them, and then it went
Oh,
WWF, and then the World Wildlife Federation told them they couldn't do that, and then WWE.
yeah.
Yes.
The whole thing with the World Wildlife Fund is crazy. I still can't believe that really is why they changed their
It's
name.
true. It's true.
I
It's
know. I know it is. It's
copyrighted.
pretty weird.
Yep.
Uh, while Russia with Love was in production, Richard Maibaum began working on the script for On Her Majesty's Secret Service as the intended next film in the series. But with the release date set for September 1964, there was not enough time to prepare for location shooting in Switzerland, and that adaptation was put on hold with the court case between Kevin McClory and Fleming surrounding Thunderball still in the high court procedures. Albert R. Broccoli and Harry Saltzman turned to Goldfinger as the third Bond film. So,
Yep.
guys, uh, did anybody read the book?
Yeah,
What did you think?
it's okay. I mean, the movie's pretty faithful to it. Yeah, the movie's pretty faithful to the book. There is a long golf sequence which I've talked about. That golf sequence goes on forever, but it's relatively faithful as I recall. Goldfinger's a real pervert in the
Yeah.
book. He's like spies on all of his guests and like takes movies of all of his guests. And Odd Job is watching them also, and he wants to give Odd Job a treat, so he feeds him a cat at one point.
Yeah, just
And he
tosses
says,
him a
he says
cat.
something like he says something horrible, like "This is what you people like" or something like that. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
awful.
yeah. It was definitely a racist moment. Rule Britannia.
Yeah, I mean, Ian Fleming. Wow, that guy had some issues. Mainly just being an Englishman of that era.
Yes, I think so. I
Yeah.
think so.
Oh
Definitely.
yeah. Honestly, I know like they didn't do it in the movie, but I kind of got the impression that like Goldfinger was a pervert.
Good.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. He cheats at everything. He pervs on women.
He saunters around in that little terry cloth outfit.
Yes. and his lovely little Tyrolean hat when he plays golf.
That's right. That's right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. To
Great.
go back for those who. Oh, sorry. To interrupt you, but I was just gonna say, like, for those that are wondering about what we were talking about earlier, yeah. If anyone's wondering why it's called WWE now, like what Alan was saying, the World Wildlife Fund sued WWF.
Yep. Back in the 90s, something late 90s, maybe. I don't know.
I
Sometime.
think I think you're actually right, but I think it started them, but like the lawsuit like was finished in 2002.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting piece. A fellow that played Goldfinger actually was asked about whether, because he's from Germany, was asked whether or not he had been a member of the Nazi Party, and he said, "Yeah, I was a member of the Nazi Party up until 1937, and then before World War II even broke out, I stopped being a member of the Nazi Party. Because of that, Israel banned this movie when it first came out.
Oh, that's
Banned it
interesting.
for years, and then after this gentleman passed away, there was testimony given that he actually hid and saved the lives of several Jewish people during the Nazi regime, and so the ban was lifted.
Oh, that's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah,
I would have never guessed that happened.
yeah.
Um,
So he went from being a dreaded Nazi to being, one of the more favored human beings in Israel. It's kind of interesting, um, you know.
Oh yeah, I agree.
But he plays a villain with modern implications. Goldfinger is a villain with modern implications.
In what way?
In what way?
Yeah.
His fascination with gold, self-aggrandizement, his zero-sum thinking,
Yeah.
win or go home kind of thinking. In other words, if somebody gets in his way, it's zero sum. They're dead, or swept away in some other way. He cheats, preferably at everything, but particularly at games.
Yeah.
He cheats at golf.
That's true. That golf scene was pretty good too.
Yeah, he tries to cheat at golf.
Well, crafty devil.
Yeah, and he's definitely he represents. I guess it's more of a timeless corruption, but we recognize it in modern times.
No.
So
Yeah, that's a good point.
Beautiful scenery in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing
Did we see what in this movie?
scenery.
Oh yeah,
Oh, it's a gorgeous movie.
it is.
Yeah.
Now it's
Kentucky,
shot
yeah.
largely in Miami, except for the parts in Switzerland.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's shot in and around there. That stands in for Kentucky and
Yeah,
for Fort Knox.
yeah.
So that's all Miami.
I like how in this movie too, when the girl dies, she gets covered in gold paint. Her sister comes to avenge her just to be killed, which is really interesting.
Yeah, kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I didn't like
That
that.
movie to be a Masterson.
It's true though that things are moving too fast for people outside of the curve. I think in this movie, which makes sense. But that's the one thing that left a bad taste in my mouth. I didn't want to see her get killed.
That's
job.
But it also piques your interest in seeing, these other guys brought to justice, in one way
Yes.
or another.
Well, and this is an important part of the James Bond formula that gets crystallized here. If you look at Bond as a character, he's practically a sociopath. I mean, he really is. He doesn't care. Bond never makes a speech about patriotism
No.
or about the
No.
Western civilization must survive or about protecting the innocent or, in general. And that's not who Bond is. Bond is this, burnout, nihilistic sybarite, sybaritic figure who's in the books, he's really messed up.
He's extremely dark.
He's depressed. He's mixing dexedrine with his champagne. He's really nihilistic. And so what do you do with a guy like that except give him his own holiday special?
Mhm.
No.
Chewbacca?
Yeah. What do you do with a guy like that? Well, in just about every Bond story, especially starting with that, you have to have someone help him, someone who helps him kind of selflessly or at great risk. And that's someone Bond becomes affectionate towards. It's almost like they teach him a little bit of humanity. And then that person gets killed every time.
Yeah, which throws Bond back into the sort of dark.
This time it's personal.
Yeah.
This time it's personal. So Bond has a personal reason to avenge their death. And if you look, almost every Bond film, that's part of the ritual.
Mm-hmm.
They're very Catholic in that sense.
The guilty must be punished.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true. And Bond having a license to kill is the irony in that is that he's the last person that should have a license to kill, but yet at the same time he's perfect.
Sure.
So
yeah.
They turned to Guy Hamilton to direct here, guys. Hamilton had actually turned down directing Dr. No. Felt that it needed to make Bond less of a Superman by making the villain seem more powerful.
Well, they certainly did that in this one because Goldfinger has zillions of gadgets and an entire network, and
yeah,
he's powerful enough to off half the friggin' American mafia.
Yeah,
so he's pretty powerful.
Yeah, He's almost overly powerful
Yeah,
too.
well, he's overbearing, no doubt about
Yeah,
that.
he is. Yeah.
Well, and this is where the films, kind of sort of sliding into self-parody. I used to kind of wonder about that. And, because we grow up with James Bond movies, then they're just
Mhm.
documentaries. You take them seriously. But you see them as adults, it's like, oh, well, okay, now I get it. Now I see what they're talking about. And Goldfinger is a prime example of that.
There's more repartee in it. The more of the sort of,
Yes. Well,
yeah.
with one of the most immortal villain lines ever uttered in a movie. You expect me to talk? No, I expect you to die.
No, I expect you to die, Mr. Bond. Yes, it is a great line. If
By the way,
he
that's
had a
not
mustache to twirl while he was
they
saying.
would twirl it. Now, no one, especially Gert Frobe, knew what Gert Frobe was saying. Gert that's not his voice. That's an English actor, I think, named Michael Wilson, or a different Michael, something like that. It's not Michael Wilson because he's one of the producers. Um, but Gert he said lines we think from the movie, but his accent was so unbelievably thick, no one could make out what he was saying. And so they're all kind of just responding to their cues. They're waiting for Gert to stop talking
Yeah.
so that they know that it's their line.
Either that or please God, give me an edit cutaway so I can
Yeah,
just start my line with my close up.
it was so his German accent apparently was just impenetrable.
Yeah.
You are Michael Collins did it.
Michael Collins, that was it.
This was part of the golden age of overdubs too. I mean, it was done tons in musicals, movie musicals, with people's voice, singing voice.
Yeah, and any movie that came out of Italy,
Yes,
because
all spaghetti westerns.
they'd all speak their own languages on the set. They weren't even. Yeah, it's just like
Mind-boggling.
and technicians yelling at each other while they were shooting.
Yeah.
Movie. Yeah. Yeah, it was just unbelievable the
Yeah.
stuff that went on, and even like maybe to this day, shooting movies in Italy is still sort of like that.
It could be. It could be um, a little procedural chaos because of the language difficulties of.
Sure, and I mean, all you have to do is listen to stories from the making of Flash Gordon, where they had no idea what anyone was saying at any point. This international cast, it was just chaos. So.
Well, this movie is certainly not chaotic in
Not.
terms of storytelling. It's gorgeous. It's
It's very
really,
economical. It's such a smooth screenplay, so
yeah,
tight.
it's great. It's fantastic. It's the characters are all really well drawn. There's not, as you say, it's economical. You don't have a lot of extra yabba yabba going on to try to tell the audience what's happening because it's all there. It's
Yeah.
all there.
It's a beautifully written screenplay, and one of the things that I like about it is that it's a James Bond plot that is just complicated enough, but I can keep track of it. There are some movies I've seen dozens of times, like when we do Living Daylights. This is one of my favorite Bond films. I have no idea what the hell's going on in it.
Mhm.
No, I don't know. I've seen there's like diamonds and a heart and some missiles and a cello and a big Hercules plane and Al Qaeda's the hero. And I just like, what? Okay, great.
Yeah.
But I love it. But this one, I know what's going on. I can describe the plot. He's got a very insane plan, but it's put together. So, and who was almost, I think, running around Fort Knox at this time, or at least would have been within the past 6 or 7 years. Harlan Ellison,
Oh
who
no.
was stationed there.
That's right.
Yeah, just imagine.
God.
There is another fabulous line in this movie when when he's on the plane and Pussy Galore has him under, her power and everything. And she says her name, and he goes, "I must be dreaming." It's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah.
Oh,
Dan
their
too.
parents were outraged at the time. I had friends of mine who were in Catholic school when that movie came out, and they
Oh,
weren't even allowed to mention the film.
that or that woman's name.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah, what must have happened later when they had a movie with the title Octopussy?
Well, I was in school then, and they just kind of rolled their eyes, and it was
Yeah,
like, okay. It was 1983. This,
it's true. A little less parochial, maybe.
yeah,
A little less.
yeah. I think their philosophy by that point was, if we acknowledge it, it's just going to make it funnier for them. If we pretend not to understand, or if we just say it and ignore it, it'll go away. And it did. It was a good
Yeah,
philosophy.
yeah, yeah. Kids sense when they can get mileage out of something. So
Yeah.
no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah. I love how too she has her own basically airline circus, like stunt circus, which is really
Yes,
cool.
it is cool. It's very cool. She's very much her own person. She's not
Yep.
some, damsel or whatever. She's
Well, yeah. I mean, basically, James Bond saves the world by giving a lesbian her first orgasm. I, I mean, if you look at the plot, I think that's basically what happens.
Yeah.
Speaking of a misogynist point of
Yeah.
view.
Oh, it's totally. Oh my God. Yeah. But that's kind of, I think, what
Yeah.
goes on.
Yes. Yes, it is kind of that. Because she does go almost immediately on the first name basis when that happens.
Yes, a literal roll in the hay.
Uh-huh.
So,
But
Dude,
Honor Blackman was probably my favorite Bond, so-called Bond girl,
yeah.
because she wasn't really a Bond girl. She was she was work for him. She
Yeah.
wasn't, so she was cool.
yeah. Now there is a myth surrounding this movie, obviously, where the actress who got painted with gold actually died. No, she did
No.
not.
And you can't die that way either.
No,
That's,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
Well,
it is a myth.
here's the
You can
thing.
you can have a reaction to it, but you're not going to suffocate
because
Right.
yourself.
Joel, at that convention, we painted you with gold paint and put you
Oh
on the
my
bed.
God.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
a lot
No
of paint.
fun. Oh my God.
It's
Actually,
certain tender spots that can really get you.
yeah, yeah. Alan brought out the roller, I remember. Um,
I had the Wagner paint sprayer.
well, somebody had to. Um,
Get in the cracks.
And then Homer Formby showed up.
actually,
Stain.
the
It's not
cat
that party.
You
Homer,
mentioned
it's not
Homer
that party.
Formby and you disappeared for a second.
what's what's well well before they did the scene to paint the girl,
Yes.
the producers and filmmakers did hear of the myth itself, and they researched it heavily and
Yes.
and made sure to know
It wasn't
that
going to happen to her.
wasn't
Right.
going to happen to her. Yeah.
Gubby and Harry painted each other just to see what would take place, and a lot, but no death.
Yes, but they were painting each other with honey. So
What a sight! Have you seen them? If this were a TV show at this point, it would cut away to the two of them.
Uh, what's some of you guys' favorite scenes? There's so many.
initially, the first part of the movie, one of my favorite scenes is how he screws around with Goldfinger, and makes him lose
Oh yeah,
card game. That's awesome because trouble is going to follow after this. But it also gives you the idea that this is part of Bond's plan to get in, is to niggle him and make him mad so that he becomes interested. And so that's a really cool scene. And of course the laser beam scene, all the kids, I mean, Gilbert had a little diorama of that scene that they sold to kids, the laser beam scene with Bond getting ready to have his nuts clipped, basically.
Yeah.
Sold to the kids. That whole thing, actually, not just that's the kind of the peak of that whole thing, but the whole gadgetry and the big meeting with the mafiosi and all that stuff. Awesome.
It is. It's Ken Adam at his best.
Yeah.
What's some of your favorite scenes?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh boy. I mean, I love the whole movie. There are little things. It was 51 Fiend indifferently blended with an overdose of Bambois. There, 37, 38 Fiend. Yeah. I love that. And then I'm getting catty about you can get that gold with the rest of your stuff.
Oh, yes, I'd forgotten that one.
The real, even though he had appeared in the prior film, Bond hadn't given him any shit, but he does here. Desmond
He
Llewellyn
does.
really makes his mark, and they crystallize their dynamic. I never joke about my work, and then Q gets another one in on him where he says, "Now, if you've got an hour," and he's just Connor's, oh Christ, and I love it when Q gets the upper hand because he always does.
He always does. He always upgrades him from, now don't break this one,
Yeah,
destroy this
I appreciate
car.
if you return this one, intact for once.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just great stuff. I like when Bond is changing in the bathroom on the airplane, and he keeps flummoxing the voyeuristic stewardess who's
Yes.
trying to watch him, and he knows it.
Yes.
And that to me always was very amusing.
Mhm.
And she's kind of blinking, is putting shaving cream on the
Yeah.
mirror. We've covered a lot of the scenes. I like Felix Leiter. Sec Linder in this is a lot of fun. And that's a nice chemistry they have. They had not quite figured out about making Felix a sex symbol. Well, I guess they tried with Jack Lord. What am I
Jack
saying?
Lord, yeah.
Yeah, but so they went in an opposite direction. This is a guy who's never going to ask for half of the profits in anything. He's just going to be glad he has a job.
Right.
Yeah, there's tons. Obviously the big odd job fight at the end, and things like that. Yeah.
Daniel, what's some of your favorite scenes here?
I'd say one of my favorite is the golf scene because I like how they, actually end up fucking with them basically, when they found who's cheating.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would say another good one is when, like there was the shoot off at the end, That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, mine's the fight scene with Oddjob. The whole Fort Knox plot is really cool. I mean, basically have a heist plot going on, which is awesome. So.
Yep. This movie is the first in the series where they really go whole hog on merchandising. They put out a ton of stuff. They put out action figures. They put out little small statuettes. They put out cars. Everything.
I was at a toy show one year, and someone was selling some Goldeneye or Goldfinger, toys from the era, and they had one where they had a handwritten sign, and they had the thing up on a stick, and it said "Odd Job Hand Puppet," and that was a phrase where you did not want to reverse any of the words whatsoever. Yeah.
Yes. And I'm sure somebody did. And I said, I'll take that for $200.
That's right. I get a shower bill first.
Puppet. No. If it's a hand job odd puppet, it's
I get a table shower first.
That's right. And here's the lube that goes with it. They did. They had tons of stuff. And this was around the time that they had the 007 cologne.
Oh yeah, they had a car racing kit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was really impressive. And young Prince Charles, was going to little ass Martin DB5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this movie, it's awesome. I haven't
And it's in terms of merchandising and size of movie, it sets up Thunderball, which would not, I think, be surpassed in terms of Bond mania the world over, which is what we're talking about next. Yeah. And I'll tell you how they showed it in New York when we talk about it, but it's extraordinary. If we're kind of in the wrap up, it sounds like we are. The thing I'll say about this movie is that it reminds me of Casablanca in this sense, and is why it's one of the greatest movies ever made. I once asked my mentor Carl about Casablanca and what the big deal was, and Carl said, Patrick, Casablanca, no one thing in Casablanca is the best Hollywood could do at the time. No one thing. No, you can't pick anything. There were better actors than Bogart. There was anything you want to look at. There was at least one better. But every aspect of the movie is really good. No aspect of the movie is spectacular, but every aspect is really good. And you never find a movie where every aspect is really good. And that amalgamated is more powerful than films where you've got one or two spectacular qualities. So,
and it starts with the screenplay.
Yes, it certainly does.
Yeah, that's gross. Is there anything you guys want to add about the movie before we go?
This, remember, said before, this, since the last one was a 10, this one has to be an 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's next and when?
Thunderball tomorrow night, guys.
I can't wait.
We're gonna do on Her Majesty's Secret Service by I think Christmas Eve or Christmas Day.
Wonderful.
So
all right.
So Thunderball tomorrow night. We'll see you guys then. Link to Patrick McCray's Dark Shadows Daybook of Babel will be in the description box. Link to Alan Gallant's YouTube channel, Cullen's Pork After Dark, will be in the description box. Link to Daniel Culver's YouTube channel, Magic Dove, will be in the description box. You guys have a safe night. Take care.
Take care.
Me too.